sai mun ga Fulani sun fara gangarowa suna shigo suna harbi shine sai aka ce mana to kowa yi hanyar shi fa domin mutane da sun yawa ma sun fi karfin mutanen gari security ma ba su yi wuna ba su taimake mutane ba ma ba balle ma yanzu security ma su taimakon kansu ne so kowa yi inda zai yi ya fara guduwar shi ne wajen da zai je buya so shi garin guduwan kenan mutane da yawa da an gudu mun je mu boya gidan security domin mun saba wajen ne duk muna faru muna je muna boya wajen to security sun yi ruwa sun yi gari gaskiya ba su sun yi abin da su taimake gari ba an kona gidaje an kashe mutum daya so mun je mun boya gidan security din to security sun yi abin da sun yi taimakon a karshe nasu bindiga ma abin da su bullet ya zo ya kare musu ba abin da za su taimake gari ba so muna ana suna Fulani suna harbi na suna Allahn Krista ina kake ka zo ka taimake ƴaƴanka ina kake ka zo ka taimake ƴaƴanka zamu kashe arnaye mu shiru muna na cikin daki.
Listen to this.
I've served the military intelligence for the past 35 years. It has always been the case. Our problem is religion and social-cultural. I mean, people will expect me to come here and start talking about kinetics, about operation and so on. I've been an operational commander all my life. I've commanded warships, I've commanded troops, I've commanded men outside Nigeria and so on. But I'm not going to come to your station to discuss kinetics. The problem is not kinetics. In 2017, 2016, I'm always a member of the Security and Intelligence Brief at the Defense Headquarters. I told them, General Lawrence Shakin then, that the challenge we have in this country cannot be solved the same way we solved the problem of Niger Delta. The Niger Delta problem was solved during Yaradua time, basically by me. And I told them that we can't use that same template for Boko Haram. I told General Lawrence Shakin to look at the center of gravity of the problem. And we all came together. I was made a member of the committee, including Atahiru that just died was a member of that committee in 2016, 2017. And we came to a conclusion after several arguments. Okay. And the arguments were three. To identify the center of gravity of the problem, one group said it is the fighters. The Boko Haram fighters are the center of gravity, so we should go after them. Another group said the center of gravity of Boko Haram is Abubakar Shekau. So if we go after Abubakar Shekau, then the problem of Boko Haram will be solved. I took exception to the group. I said that is not the center of gravity of the problem of Boko Haram insurgency that we were having between that 2012 and 2017. And General Lawrence Shakin asked me, allow me, why are you giving problem? What is the problem? Give us the answer. And I told General Shakin that if I tell you the answer, you're not going to be able to solve the problem. He said, what is the problem? I said, the center of gravity of Boko Haram and insurgency in Nigeria are the sponsors of that program. It was beyond us. Because the job we need to do is kinetics. Fight, destroy places, resolve issues. Yep. But we cannot resolve issue of sponsors of Boko Haram that were in Buhari's government, that we know them.
When you say we, who?
I was in the military intelligence. And the defense headquarters staff that I work with, they know. And that was why we couldn't pursue that aspect that could have resolved that problem. Because you need to arrest people. And recently, 400 people were gathered as sponsors of Boko Haram. Why is it that Buhari government has refused to try them?
So the government knows sponsors of Boko Haram?
Of course, it's in the news. In April this year, the government said they have arrested 400 Bureau de Change related people that were sponsoring Boko Haram. They told us. And Abu Dhabi also helped us to arrest few Nigerians, tried them, we know them. Why can't this government, if not that they are partisan and they are actually part of the charade that is going on, Why can't they bring those people out for trial?
So the Bureau de Change operates on the one hand, but you particularly said people in government. Are those part of the Bureau de Change, or those people that you say are in government are still there, government is aware, and government is condoning them?
The people I mentioned that are in government are not these ones they just arrested. You remember this Boko Haram issue started since 2012.
Yeah.
And I was in the military intelligence that time. We arrested those people. It is my organization that actually conducts interrogation and interview. And they mention names. I mean, I can't come on the air and start mentioning names of people that are presently in government now that I know.
Presently in government.
Presently in government. That the boys that we arrested mentioned. Some of them are governors now. Some of them are in the Senate. Some of them are in Aso Rock. Why should a government try to cause this kind of embarrassment and insecurity to the sense of what happened yesterday? And the solution I gave them in 2017, because when I identified the center of gravity for General Onshokin, and they couldn't pursue it, because some of them were ministers. And what I'm saying now, the Department of State Services are listening to me. They know them.
Yeah. You know, Commodore.
So the solution I gave them was that if we can't pursue the policy strategic level, because the people that we need to talk to are also, going to be difficult to deal with. I said what they should do now is to conduct two things. We should buy blimps. The blimps are not UAVs. They are not drones. Blimps are equipment that can fly up to 10,000 feet, 30,000 feet. Okay. Static if you want, mobile if you want, and they carry a lot of payload. We saw them in Afghanistan. We saw them in Kenya. This will be something that can give us real-time intelligence, and we can know where these bandits or terrorists, where they emanate from, when they finish operations that they've done, where they go back to.
Okay, well,
they did not buy this equipment up to now.
Okay, you said quite a number of things. Let's pick up on some of them and see if we could make some, if you could shed some further light on some of them. Since 2012, I mean, you've been in operation, as you said, ever since that time. You questioned several people. And some people were identified at that time. Did the government at that time try any of them? Or were any of them also in government at the time?
No, the government did not try any of them, and the defense headquarters where I worked then did not pursue that line of operation because it's beyond them. The defense headquarters, actually, when you look at the defense structure of Nigeria, they lie within the policy strategic level, but basically they are operational guys. So when you have policy problem, then they cannot go beyond their masters. They can write intelligence report and say this is what is going on. And we've seen that the present government know what is going on.
I'm sorry, is this a policy problem? I mean, the laws are clear. If someone is said to be involved in something as devious as this, the laws are clear. This person is meant to be arrested, questioned. I mean, it's quite clear. So is it a policy problem? We have the laws. So what is stopping the security agencies from actually enforcing the law, since that's what they are?
I think what is stopping them is like when you are a member of a church and your pastor have decided to be at a certain level of spiritualism and you're a member of that church, you cannot be higher than your pastor. Okay. Spiritually, you can't, no matter what you do.
So this is the same religion you spoke about?
Yes. In real life, you see that the defense headquarters cannot conduct any operations that is not sanctioned by the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Yeah. They cannot.
No matter how small, little
they
it
cannot.
is.
When the Yar'Adua government decided to put an end to Niger Delta militancy, that was in 2007. What he did was simple. He called all the security chiefs and all the intelligence chiefs and tasked them to come up with a solution. The Defense Intelligence Agency, the National Intelligence Agency, the Department of State Services were called with the Inspector General of Police and the Interpol to come up with the solution to the problem. Then the problem was Niger Delta. The president was Yar'Adua. He was dispassionate. He wanted to solve the problem.
Okay.
Within 6 months, we solved the problem. I remember I have to go to Angola to go and bring Henry Oka, and nobody in Nigeria knew what we did. All we know is that since 27, 28 that we conducted our operation under Yar'Adua, Niger Delta issue has remained manageable. This government does not want to resolve this problem. They are escalating it because of tribal and religious sentiments.
So Bulaba doesn't care about how the North solve its own problem. I'm telling you. And why do I say that? Because in the midst of this negotiation with bandits, have you heard any word from the federal government condemning the action? Despite the fact that the majority of the Hausa population are rejecting that and are saying that is injustice. But he doesn't care. Why? Because this is a man that came out to tell you people that he doesn't even believe in one Nigeria. And what makes him say that? Well, to some certain extent, we want to blame him for saying he doesn't believe in one Nigeria. But this is a man that has been in politics for a very long time before he made that comment. And why did he make that comment? Because he has seen that, let's tell ourselves the truth. Now here we go tell ourselves the truth. At least, you know, get where we go talk and we don't go talk and for grave. Which is the fact that the North seems to be divided across religious basis. We're busy pursuing who is superior. Is it Christian or is it Muslim? Abi? Trying to establish the kingdom of God on earth. And he knows that to some certain extent, everybody have seen that that happens to be a major determinant in regards who wins the next election. Just like we saw with the Muslim ticket, Abi? That is to tell you that while other regions are thinking of something else, in the North, all we think about is Muslim ticket, or who is of the same religion like we to vote into power. And haven't seen that and a lot of other variables. That is why he confidently came out to tell you that he doesn't believe in one Nigeria. And that is why you'll be surprised now, even in a state like Katsina, where there's high level of banditry and they are pardoning bandits now. When he enter Katsina now, they are clapping for him. Clapping, gathering around the whole street. Are you surprised? You shouldn't be surprised. Because it's all about give and take. You settle who you need to settle that will ensure your next time coming or whatever, and you go. And in regards the plight of the Igbos, this is part of the reason I feel he doesn't care. Because let's face it, the fact is, the demands of the Igbos are genuine and authentic in regards the sense that, let's face it now, why will you, despite the fact that the Niger Delta, at least after the division, after they don't separate them, carve them out into a cycle, they are no more with the Niger Deltas, they are no more the same with the Niger Deltas, but they used to be. But the fact is, what I'm trying to say is the fact that before now they were one, and they are considered as the oil producing regions of the state. And as a result of that, they have a lot of they have a lot of waterways. They are close to the ocean as one region before the division, before they now isolated the Igbos in the middle. But after they have isolated them now, they are on their own. The Niger Deltans now are in command. And since the Niger Deltas are in command now, they now compensated them with 13% derivative. Despite the fact that the 13% derivative doesn't go around for everybody, it's only for the bourgeois, for the big men of the region. Because if you go to Niger Delta, if you see the level of hardship, you will be shocked. You will be surprised that this is an oil-producing region in Nigeria. You will be shocked. So they are compensated, they kept quiet. So when the Igbos now come up to complain and say, hey, we don't have port, we're supposed to have ports or whatever, they say, we no get water. You don't have water. It's the Niger Deltans that have water. Can you see? So by virtue of that now, they are left with no options. And again, they have succeeded in empowering people like Tompolo, them Asari Dokubo or whatever, that at the end of the day, when the Igbos come to say that we are one, this used to be the same region, we are all the same region, we are all Biafra or whatever they call it, they will say thunder fire you, God forbid. They will now remind them of during the civil war, when they unalive some Deltans or whatever, they put it in their head, they say Igbo people are no good people. They say just stay on your own, most stay on their own. So at the end of the day, everybody is living with poverty. Just like I keep saying, why will the oil companies have their headquarters in Lagos, remitting everything to Lagos and the rest of it? So a divided kingdom, and just like they say, a divided kingdom can never stand. That is the modus operandi. So everybody now is left to fight for his own. Niger Delta, they fight another cause. Igbo people, they fight another cause. So you look at all these dynamics, you get to see that at the end of the day, it's all man for himself. And let's look at it. In the midst of all this insecurity or whatever, now I will tell you, take it or leave it. The Oduduwa Republic, the Lagos, happens to be the most fortified region. Why is it the most fortified? Because Amotekun is there. And the swift action in the sense that when something happens like this, they nip it immediately. And it stops. Part of the reason why the Niger Delta is even enjoying some relevant peace at the moment is because they are near the waterways, and apart from that, they happen to be the hub, the engine of Nigeria's revenue at the moment. So anything that affects them affects Nigeria's revenue. And that is why they find it very easy to nip any insecurity in the Niger Delta, but poverty may remain there. And that is just it. And we'll just sit down and keep deceiving ourselves and be thinking that this person is going to change, or because he doesn't understand what is happening. They understand perfectly what is happening. But having said all this, is there actually a solution? There is a solution. But it's only meant for he who is ready to listen.